इंदिरा जी के बारे में. I remember still where we were sitting, and it was so compelling that I came back. उस time तो notes नहीं लिए, हम coffee पी रहे थे. I came back and there's a big fat red diary I had, जो मिलती है ना New Year पे. And उस पे मैंने जितना मुझे याद आया उसी तरह मैंने लिखा वो notes. When I wrote this book, decided to write this book, and Aleph Book Company commissioned me, मैंने उनको जाके interview किया. And I put him on tape. And the details of that story about Indira Gandhi were exactly what he had told me 19 years earlier. तो मुझे लगा, I did not need to corroborate it with, I did corroborate it with other people, but that story is, I don't know whether I should tell this or आपके सवालों के जवाब में मैं वो बोलूँगी, but over the years, जब मैं लोगों को मिलती थी and maybe journalists go to do the day's reporting and I was doing political reporting, Indian Express के लिए, I would take down everything. Notes मैं बहुत रखती थी और I never threw my notes. And those were details of किसने क्या कहा, even though you used 10-20% of whatever you had taken down. So I was lucky to have lots of notes. I was very lucky to have the trust of people who were players in the system, including the Prime Ministers of India. Vishwanath Pratap Singh, जिनको मैंने बहुत closely cover किया था, I would have 15 to 16 hours of interviews with him. This was after he demitted office in Apollo Hospital, जहाँ उनका dialysis चलता था बाद में. And I was also very lucky to have media colleagues talk to me about their experiences. So कुल मिला के ये interviews का मेरे पास few hundred interviews थी over the years. और COVID के time में when life was just inside the house, is when I wrote this book. Added to it other interviews, telephone पे वैसे भी बाहर नहीं जा सकते थे. और 2.5 साल तक my life was computer table, 4 feet away the bed, 10 foot away the dining table. इस तिकोण में मैं जी 2.5 साल तक. And I lived with this, the prime ministers, what they did, what they felt. And this story, मैंने ये भी इसलिए लिखी क्योंकि this story had not been told. This is not like a biography of 6 prime ministers that I have done, nor is it the history of 55 years of modern India. It is really how decisions are made at the top level of our political establishment. What goes into it? How the prime minister became prime minister. And these were men who were lucky but also very ruthless, determined, all of them, to be able to get to that position. Their personal style of functioning, their ideology, belief systems, and the pulls and pressures they were subjected to, caste ka, lobbies, religious lobbies, fixers in our system, nationally, internationally, जिनका pressure पड़ा, foreign lobbies at work. So all that put together, how these men and women, Indira Gandhi, the one woman prime minister, how in the midst of all this, they made their decisions. तो मैंने 6 प्रधानमंत्री लिए हैं, उसमें 6 decisions हैं जिनको लिया है. इंदिरा गांधी को मैंने लिया है कैसे वो पावर में वापस आई. 1977 में she lost power after the emergency. She declared the election. Why did she declare that election? And 2.5 years later, how did she bounce back to power with the largest majority ever? वो कहानी क्या थी? कैसे हुआ. राजीव गांधी, I have looked at कैसे उन्होंने caste और religion का जो challenge था, how did he deal with that after the Shah Banu judgment came and he responded to it. And this man who wanted to take India into the 21st century fell between the stools of caste and community. He wanted a new India, but he did not understand old India. And he got trapped in that. V.P. Singh, how he brought in Mandal decision to give reservation to the other backward classes. Narasimha Rao, did he deliberately allow the Babri Masjid to come down? Was he complicit in that decision? Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the darling of the state. Even today, how did he go in for the decision to go for nuclear test? A decision for which Narasimha Rao had got the country ready. And Dr. Manmohan Singh, who was supposed to be the weakest prime minister, showed a steely side of him when he went in for the Indo-US nuclear deal. 39 long months he did not give up. Sonia Gandhi was opposed to it. The left parties were opposed to it. He got that through. It was a new side of Dr. Manmohan Singh. And I must tell you this, किताब निकली उसके बाद मैंने उनको लिखा, yeah, I want to come and present the book to you. And I went to, he immediately called me, और जब मैं पहुंची, there was a book lying there. He said, I've already read it. And then he opened it to the chapter on him. That was going to be one of my questions, yes. Okay, yeah, I just finished with this. He opened it, जहाँ उनका chapter था, and he was very happy with the title of that chapter, which said, The Underrated Prime Minister Who Triumphed. He thought he had vindicated himself. And now that I look back, he said to me, you have been objective and truthful. That was high endorsement coming from the Prime Minister, former Prime Minister, who's now no more.
Right, just fascinating. And each of the books, and everyone who hasn't read it, you have to read this book to really understand. Ma'am, you stopped at Manmohan Singh, and hopefully we'll have another book, maybe another 10 years or something, about certain decisions of this government, and maybe we'll finally know what led to demonetization, and who was in the know and who wasn't in the know. These are things we would love to know. And as a journalist, of course, things have got a lot more opaque. You talk about, access that you had. What has been surprising is how a lot of the decisions the prime ministers made came from a point of vulnerability, insecurity, a lot of their advisors, what they had to say. How did you decide on these, you decided on these particular prime ministers, but V.P. Singh ji did not complete his term, but he is one of the prime ministers that you've included, because given the kind of ramifications his decisions had.
Yes, when I had to choose, there are 14 prime ministers, 14 प्रधानमंत्री हैं, तो decide करना था किस-किस को लिया जाए, किस-किस को छोड़ा जाए. तो फिर मैंने decide किया कि let me take those who completed their whole term. Except I made 3 exceptions. One was Nehru, not because it has become fashionable to rubbish him, but because I felt my own political consciousness starts after Nehru. So enough had been written, मैंने छोड़ दिया. Vishwanath Pratap Singh, who's lasted only 11 months, I felt he had changed India forever. लेकिन ये बहुत ही विडंबना है कि जहाँ जहाँ मैं जाती हूँ, जैसे आप जैसे लोगों से मिलती हूँ, स्कूल के, कॉलेज के, गांव में भी जाती हूँ, मैं सवाल पूछती हूँ, आपने नेहरू का नाम सुना? हाँ. शास्त्री का सुना? हाँ. जब मैं विश्वनाथ प्रताप सिंह के नाम पे आती हूँ, किसी ने भी आज तक नहीं सुना यंग में. I would have asked you this question, they don't know. It's a very interesting thing कि this man who changed Indian politics forever, आज भी, but for that decision and the empowerment of the OBCs over the years, today you have an OBC prime minister, in fact belonging to a category which they say is extremely backward. So power has devolved. तो वो जर्नी का स्टार्ट वहाँ से हुआ था विश्वनाथ प्रताप सिंह से.
All right, so that was the reason that you decided on his, and it's a fascinating chapter. Now, Mr. Bisaria and Ms. Govil, both of you were young officers, worked in the PMOs of the time. You were with Vajpayee ji, you were with Manmohan Singh ji. So, first, you, sir, was something in this book, in the chapter that you read and you thought, wow, I didn't know that happened. I mean, I was there as a part of the PMO, but I had no idea.
Yes, thank you very much. But let me start first with a shout out to BLF. This is the third time I'm here, so it's great to be here. And I must tell you that when I came for the first time, Raghav, the director of the festival, had invited me. I'd just been thrown out of Pakistan. So I had a lot of time on my hands. I came here, I didn't have any speaking role. But at that point, I felt that I had a story to tell. And that really inspired me to write. And 4 years later, last year I was here with a book which was released, I think quite poetically appropriate, at the Bhopal Lit Fest. So, and it's great to be here now to be discussing this great book. So the point I want to make, since there are so many young people here, is that there is something that BLF is doing about fostering the reading culture, the writing culture, the storytelling culture. So compliments to BLF for doing all this. On your question, this is a great book with so many nuggets about all prime ministers other than Vajpayee. I learned so much, and I keep diving into it and learning a lot. But even about Vajpayee, it kind of, there are a couple of things about his time before he was PM, which I didn't know, or I had only heard it being talked about in vague terms, but particularly the story about Vajpayee having cancer and that not being disclosed, and Rajiv Gandhi telling him that he could go abroad and get it treated. He'd go as a delegate
Sending him
to the
abroad
UN.
for treatment.
Yes, so, and he did go abroad for treatment. He had been treated, I knew, during the emergency. He was in hospital a lot. But when he was Prime Minister, he was already 75 and relatively fit, 75, which allowed him to be PM. But he was always, I remember, very grateful to Rajiv Gandhi. So I think what Neerja's book really also emphasizes, apart from the stories of these prime ministers, is that there was a certain sense of community in the political community, at least at that time.
One doesn't see as much
At
today.
least at that time, which, Vajpayee's very strong relationship with Narasimha Rao, which I watched at close quarters, and his feelings towards Rajiv Gandhi, and his very fair judgment of earlier prime ministers. He would talk about Nehru in very positive terms about some of the good things he did, and say that he was critical of Nehru on his face in Parliament on a few things. But similarly with Indira Gandhi, he praised her in 1971 for what she did. So I think, yes, this book is a collection of fascinating stories strung together in telling a larger story, and there were many surprises for me.
Wonderful. Ma'am, for you, being a part of the Manmohan Singh, PMO, what was it that surprised you in the chapter?
So
Or what were you
likewise,
privy
like
to?
what sir said, और मैं अब अनुमति से हिंदी में स्विच करना चाहूँगी. हमारे बच्चे
बिल्कुल,
यहाँ बैठे हैं,
yes.
उनके लिए. तो इस पुस्तक में हर प्रधानमंत्री के जो निर्णयों के बारे में चर्चा की गई है, उससे एक बात बहुत स्पष्ट सामने आती है कि कितनी मेहनत और कितने ध्यानपूर्वक उन्होंने अपने इस विषय वस्तु पे अपने पूरे ध्यान को केंद्रित किया. क्योंकि मैं केवल डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी के कार्यकाल में मैं उस कार्यालय में थी, तो जब न्यूक्लियर डील की बात करी, और वो भी मेरे वाले कार्यकाल से पूर्व के कार्यकाल का निर्णय था, तो जो बताया गया कि सुबह 4 बजे की कॉल है, 5 बजे की कॉल है, सुबह के काम है, तो मैंने सोचा उस समय कि हम लोग जो हैं अपना इत्मीनान से सो के उठ के तैयार होके जाते हैं, कितनी मेहनत किसी भी निर्णय के पीछे लगती है. शायद हम अक्सर इस मेहनत से अनभिज्ञ रहते हैं. तो वो जो मेहनत उसके पीछे होती है, कितना शोध उसके पीछे होता है, उस निर्णय के पीछे, ये शायद हम भूल भी जाते हैं और उसको शायद हम अप्रिशिएट भी नहीं कर पाते. और इसमें हम सब लोग जो जो प्रधानमंत्री जी के साथ साथ रहते हैं, कोई भी प्रधानमंत्री जी हों, हमारे भी कुछ इनपुट्स रहते हैं, किंतु जो मुख्य निर्णायक भूमिका है उनके कंधों पे कितना भार है इस बड़े निर्णय का, जिसका अपने देश के ऊपर कितना प्रभाव पड़ेगा भविष्य में जाते हुए। जैसे जैसे वीपी सिंह जी के बारे में कहा कि ओबीसी का जो रिजर्वेशन हुआ, मैं उसमें कॉलेज में थी और आपके ही चैनल ने मुझे इंटरव्यू भी किया था जो कॉलेज स्टूडेंट से करते हैं। तो ये जो स्निपेट्स नीरजा जी की किताब में है, ये वाकई में सबके पढ़ने के लायक है और बहुत ही मज़ा आया जब से राघव सर ने मुझे कहा कि तुम्हें यहाँ आना है, तो मैं 1 महीने से आपकी किताब थोड़ा करके पढ़ रही हूँ। बहुत ही मज़ा आ रहा है, थोड़ी सी बाकी है पर वो भी जल्दी पूरी करूँगी।
Yes, and as Mr. Basaria said, the stories about the bonhomie between leaders, that's very fascinating. Besides the Vajpayee ji's treatment abroad, which Rajiv Gandhi sent him for, not telling anyone, it only was revealed after he died, and Vajpayee ji spoke about it, that he helped save my life. If you could talk a little bit also about the relationship between Mr. Narasimha Rao and Vajpayee ji, and considering they both helped each other in the course of their careers, political careers.
ये अजय जी ने अभी जो कहा है, कि कैंसर के बारे में, वाजपेयी जी के कैंसर के बारे में उनके क्लोजेस्ट कॉलीग्स को भी नहीं पता था। 2021 में मैंने यशवंत सिन्हा से बात की। आई आस्क्ड हिम व्हेन ही वाज फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर अंडर वाजपेयी, आई सेड, डिड यू नो दैट ही हैड कैंसर? ही सेड, नो, आई डिडंट नो. But it was in 1988 when he was in New York, it was found. एक कविता उन्होंने लिखी, बहुत ही सुंदर कविता है, जो धर्मयुग को भेजी थी उन्होंने, और धर्मयुग ने उसको छापा भी था. And when Rajiv Gandhi died in 1991, then Vajpayee revealed how Rajiv Gandhi had saved his life. He sent him to the United Nations General Assembly for ostensibly kidney treatment, but kidney and cancer was linked. This people close to Vajpayee had told me. And Rajiv said to him and gave instructions, he is not to come back till the treatment is completed. After Rajiv's successive prime ministers, each one of them used to send Vajpayee ji to the United Nations General Assembly. He would love that, of course. He would go there and play his role, but he would also be able to get his checkups done. And not one prime minister, not one. अगर आप रिलीज कर दीजिए ये इंफॉर्मेशन कि आपके अपोनेंट को कैंसर है, तो मतलब वो तो जा रहे हैं, उनकी तो साख ही कम हो जाती है ना पॉलिटिक्स में. But no prime minister released that information. So while they were opponents, they were also, I won't say friends, they were colleagues at one level. They could pick up the phone and say, अब इसके बारे में क्या करना है. And even about Nehru introduced Vajpayee in 1960 to Nikita Khrushchev, who came then the prime minister of the Soviet Union. And वो banquet था, लोग आ रहे थे, फिर वाजपेयी भी लाइन में थे. वाजपेयी जब पहुँचे उनके पास, उन्होंने कहा, नेहरू जी ने, this is our future prime minister. And Nehru had sent instructions to the embassy in the United States to allow, to facilitate Vajpayee to meet important people in the US. So एक रिश्ता था. And Manmohan Singh ji, I will tell you, the last meeting I had with Manmohan Singh ji, I asked him, आज की situation के बारे में आपको क्या लगता है? And he said, what worries me the most, words to this effect, what worries me the most is the bitterness that has crept in between the ruling side and the opposition. And that is not healthy for democracy. So this weighed on him in the last months and weeks of his life. And I think एक कहानी अजय जी ने बोली कि ये जो broader picture आ रही है इस किताब के थ्रू, दो चीज़ें जो मैंने सीखी ये किताब लिख के, एक तो हमारी डिसीजन मेकिंग, हाउ एड हॉक इट इज़, हाउ इन द मोमेंट वी डोंट थिंक ऑफ अ 10 ईयर पर्सपेक्टिव, 20, 30, 40, 50। जैसे चाइना ने अपनी इकोनॉमी को खोला तो 50 साल का एक पर्सपेक्टिव है. We did it because there was a balance of payment crisis in 1991. Narasimha Rao had to do it. Even before he was sworn in as the Prime Minister of India, he was told, this is the situation. And he said, I knew the situation was bad. I did not know how bad. So, ad hoc decision making, in order to survive, in order to keep power, in order to rest power, ये सब have been very compelling factors. This does not mean that there haven't been flashes of wisdom or future planning. वो नहीं मैं कह रही हूँ. The other thing I learnt, India's diversity is a beautiful thing that we have been endowed with. No other country in the world is as diverse as our country. Therefore, this country must be run like a coalition. Even if it's a brute majority government, small majority government, minority government, coalition alliance, but it must be run like a coalition where the last person's voice is heard. And over the years, all prime ministers have contributed to strengthening India's democracy. This incredible democracy of ours. बहुत shortcomings है, बहुत fault lines है, सब कुछ है जो दुरुस्त करने की ज़रूरत है, लेकिन we still remain a democracy which we are proud of. Much needs to be done, but we are still proud of it. तो ये सब किताब से मुझे ये निष्कर्ष निकले हैं देश के बारे में.
Bilkul, ma'am. Ms. Govil, if you could, you've had interactions with many prime ministers. What has also come across in this book is it's important for prime ministers to also interact with a wide view of people, isn't it?
बिल्कुल, आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा गार्गी. माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी नरेंद्र मोदी जी के बारे में ये कहा जाता है कि वो बहुत ध्यान से सुनते हैं. तो मेरे एक दो ही मौके ऐसे हुए हैं जब उनको कोई किसी भी चर्चा में मैं भी सम्मिलित रही हूँ और ये लगा कि कितने हमारी जो तैयारी है कभी कभी कुछ अपूर्ण लगती है, क्योंकि वो कितने ध्यान से सुनते हैं, आपकी बात को समझने की कोशिश करते हैं और प्रतिक्रिया तुरंत नहीं देते हैं, क्योंकि वो उसके बारे में सोच रहे हैं, कितना वो अंदर रहते हैं. इसी प्रकार से जो मुझे मौका डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह के साथ काम करने को मिला, मुझे लगा वो कितना ध्यानपूर्वक, मैं तो एक केवल डायरेक्टर थी, अगर मुझे भी कुछ कहना है तो वो इतने ध्यानपूर्वक पूरे इत्मीनान से हर बात को सुनते हैं, हर पहलू को समझते हैं. एक छोटा सा उदाहरण मैं देती हूँ. एक लेफ्ट विंग एक्सट्रीमिज़म के ऊपर एक चर्चा चल रही थी, क्योंकि मैं आर्थिक व्यवस्था की जो हमारा विंग था उसमें मैं पदस्थ थी, तो मैं भी वहाँ बैठी हुई थी, मैं तो नोट्स लेती थी. तो हरीश खरे जी उस समय हमारे मीडिया एडवाइज़र थे प्रधानमंत्री जी के, तो वो निकलते हुए मेरे सामने से गुजरे, हम सब खड़े थे, प्रधानमंत्री जी निकल रहे थे. उन्होंने प्रधानमंत्री जी को मेरे पास जब हमसे गुजरने लगे उन्होंने रोका और कहा, प्रधानमंत्री जी आप जानते हैं कि आपके ऑफिस में डायरेक्टर हैं और ये इन्होंने बस्तर में सेवा दी है, आपको इनको सुनना चाहिए कि बस्तर में इन्होंने क्या सीखा. तो फिर प्रधानमंत्री जी ने आधा घंटा देखिए, एक डायरेक्टर के लिए प्रधानमंत्री के सामने बोलना और उनको सुनना बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है. तो बहुत ध्यान से मैंने उनको अपने अनुभव बताए, उन्होंने सुने और मुझे लगता है हो सकता है कहीं ना कहीं जब सम विकास योजना उस समय आई, हो सकता है कहीं ना कहीं उनका भी कुछ योगदान रहा हो, किंतु प्रधानमंत्री जो भी हमारे रहते हैं मुझे लगता है बहुत ध्यानपूर्वक सभी विभिन्न प्रकार के पहलुओं, विभिन्न आवाज़ों को सुनते हैं और उन पर चिंतन मनन करने के बाद ही अपने निर्णय लेते हैं, ऐसा मेरा मानना है.
जी, if we talk about Vajpayee ji, the book has so much information about his prime ministership, his personal life, various anecdotes. One can't imagine, he was the BJP prime minister, and these young people will be quite astounded to know about how he was and how less he used to campaign. I mean that's something that's very fascinating, how he used to just do his 4 or 5 and then relax in the evening. But Ms. Arya ji, if you could tell us some anecdote, something that you recall, something that you would like to share with the audience here.
Sure. So let me take off from two of the points that Nirja made, the broader ones. You know, Vajpayee was a great believer in what she talked about, which is the consensus view of the need that India should be governed by consensus. He said that repeatedly, and he was part of the coalition era. Because, say, from 1989, and Nirja mentions this in her book, from 1989 to 2024, we essentially have been, since Rajiv Gandhi left and since Modi came with his majority, in a coalition era. And Vajpayee was part of it. He had seen the failed coalitions of the past, of the Janta experiment, and he was determined to make this a success. तो वो कहते थे कि इस देश को चलाने के लिए आपको अपने मित्र दलों के साथ, विरोधी दलों के साथ और पूरे देश को साथ लेके आगे बढ़ना. That is the only way to run the country, to take these complex and tough decisions. And therefore, in his time, there were a lot of all-party meetings, not just the NDA coalition meeting, but in critical decisions like whether to send troops to Iraq, he would say, I'll call an all-party meeting and have not just the NDA, but the others. The other thing that she mentioned and you mentioned, which is, you know, the instinct versus the planning. Because before, in the Prime Minister's office and the government is a complex system. It throws up a decision through files, through cabinet meetings, through consultations, and through structures and processes. Yet, what Nirja's book establishes is that a lot of them make, quick, very personal, very political decisions. And sometimes that's an advantage. For Vajpayee, for instance, 2003 की बात है जब वो कश्मीर गए अप्रैल में और it was a time of extreme conflict with Pakistan. There was terrorism in Kashmir and he stood up in Srinagar and he suddenly said आज मैं पाकिस्तान की तरफ फिर एक बार दोस्ती का हाथ बढ़ाता हूँ. Completely unexpected. You know, Brijesh Mishra, who was his principal secretary, who was there, all the teams that were there briefing him, no one saw that coming. And I asked Brijesh Mishra later, he said, I didn't know. The man finally walked up to the podium and he looked at that crowd, he looked at the eyes of the people and the hopes of theirs, of the Kashmiris, and he made this instinctive choice. And you know, so sometimes that political instinct is also very important, as much as the whole system of governance and government.
No, absolutely. I mean, one can't forget
You know, you
the
asked-
vast journey that he took. And again, I mean, these youngsters who can't even imagine the kind of overtures that were made towards Pakistan. Yes, there was, you know, what Kargil happened after that, and that was really terrible, let down for Mr. Vajpayee. But yes, he was a-
Yeah, you'd asked about his relationship with Narasimha Rao and I hadn't answered that. अजय जी ने जो कहा ना कि उसी टाइम वाजपेयी जी डिसाइड करते थे जब वो छोटे थे तो उनको एक बार रेलवेज के ऊपर स्कूल में डिबेट में पार्टिसिपेट करना था एंड ही हैड रिटन इट आउट एंड ही लर्न इट रट्टा मारा था सारा. तो जब बोल रहे थे तो बीच में भूल गए और उनको बहुत ही बुरा लगा कि हाउ डिड दिस हैपन. And he was he was learning poetry from his father. Father was a poet. जब वो स्कूल में उनकी उंगली पकड़ के जाते थे तो उनके पिताजी उनके pronunciation और भाषा को सुधारते थे while walking to school. लेकिन जब उसके बाद उन्होंने decide किया I will never write down my speeches because whenever Vajpayee read his speeches they were very boring. So he would collect the corpus of information, metaphors, phrases, कहानियाँ, किस्से कहानियाँ, फिर क्या किस समय use करना है on the spur of the moment. He would do that. And but on Narasimha Rao, I wanted to make this point कि इनके नरसिम्हा राव कांग्रेस के थे और बहुत शातिर प्रधानमंत्री थे और उनकी बहुत ज़बरदस्त दोस्ती थी अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जो भाजपा के थे. एक बार यूनाइटेड नेशंस में बैठे थे नरसिम्हा राव, भुवनेश चतुर्वेदी उनके एमओएस थे पीएमओ में एंड नेक्स्ट टू हिम वाज Vajpayee, who was also attending that session. यहाँ वापस हिंदुस्तान में गदर चल रहा था उत्तर प्रदेश में, सरकार गिर गई थी मायावती की, और कल्याण सिंह तो भाजपा के थे, वो चाह रहे थे कि हम किसी तरह जोड़ तोड़ करके सरकार बना लें. तो वाजपेयी जी स्पोक टू भुवनेश चतुर्वेदी एंड सेड कैन आई स्पीक टू द प्राइम मिनिस्टर. तो उन्होंने कहा आप बात कर लीजिए ना. उन्होंने कहा यहाँ नहीं, लेकिन मैं शाम को भुवनेश चतुर्वेदी ने कहा आप शाम को आइए होटल में. इसे शाम को टाइम थोड़ी होता है बातचीत करने का पॉलिटिकल. तो ही सेड बात क्या है. तो उन्होंने कहा कि कल्याण सिंह को चीफ मिनिस्टर नहीं बनना चाहिए, क्योंकि कल्याण सिंह अडवाणी कैंप के थे, अडवाणी राइवल थे वाजपेयी के भाजपा के अंदर. दे वर कॉलीग्स एट राइवल्स, एंड इफ कल्याण सिंह वुड टेक ओवर एज चीफ मिनिस्टर, यूपी तो अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी की भूमि थी, उनका पॉलिटिकल टर्फ था. तो रात को जब वापस गए तो भुवनेश चतुर्वेदी ने पीएम नरसिम्हा राव से बात की, क्या करना है इसका. तो कहा उन्होंने मोतीलाल वोरा को कह दीजिए. मोतीलाल वोरा वाज द गवर्नर ऑफ उत्तर प्रदेश. सो चतुर्वेदी कॉल्ड अप मोतीलाल वोरा. तो उन्होंने कहा वो तो मेरे एंटी रूम में बैठा है, मेरी जान खा रहा है कि मुझे बुलाना चाहिए. तो इन्होंने कहा वो नहीं बनना चाहिए, और वो नहीं बना. और मुलायम सिंह की सरकार आई. देयर वर मेनी वेज इन विच दे हेल्प्ड ईच अदर अक्रॉस पार्टी लाइन, जिससे पार्टी भी बहुत परेशान हो जाती थी कि इनके लिंक्स क्या हैं. बट ऑन द न्यूक्लियर क्वेश्चन नरसिम्हा राव हैड रेडिड एवरीथिंग. इट हैड गॉट टू द T3 स्टेज. 3 दिन की वो थी कि आप हाँ फाइनल गो हेड देंगे न्यूक्लियर एस्टैब्लिशमेंट को. And Narasimha Rao got cold feet, the Americans got to know of it. And when Vajpayee took over in 1996, even though he did not have a majority, Narasimha Rao ने कहा कि मैं आके मिलना चाहता प्राइम मिनिस्टर. तो उन्होंने कहा नहीं, मैं ही आऊँगा. And he told him in detail, everything is ready, you go ahead with it. Of course, it was a 13-day government and it could not be done. Vajpayee decided against it. But when he came to power in 1998, one of the first major decisions that he took was to go nuclear, to test the nuclear bomb. And that took India to the high table, the high
Absolutely,
league.
ma'am. In fact, in the book you'll read about how when Yashwant Sinha found out about it, how he came to the Prime Minister's residence and he was told, go to the bedroom. And he was very taken aback. He thought, am I being fired? Am I going to be asked to resign? And that's where in the bedroom he was told that, this will take place. But ma'am, you spoke about Advani ji. You also talk about Hawala, the Hawala case, and how that also had a role to play in perhaps Mr. Vajpayee becoming Prime Minister, because there was a Hawala case against Advani ji, and that was the time when our politicians, when they had such allegations, they would stand up and say, I'm going to resign, I'm going to clear my name, and then I will come back. One can't imagine, these days one doesn't see that anymore. But let's talk about the two characters in your book who are not the Prime Ministers, but play a big role. One is Advani ji and one is Sonia Gandhi ji. So that's very interesting. And ma'am, you talk about the time after the after the blast took place, and how you met Advani ji, and you expected him to be very happy because this was something that he wanted, but he was actually a little depressed.
Yeah, Makargi, I was thinking today in the morning, all those people, just before I answer your question, all those people who could have become Prime Ministers of India, the Prime Ministers India did not get.
And Sonia Gandhi twice.
Yes,
isn't it?
Sardar Patel is one, K. Kamraj is another, Mupanar jo bante ruk gaye, also from Tamil Nadu, Pranab Mukherjee we know, L.K. Advani, absolutely, Sonia Gandhi, वो तो बनते रह गई. She was elected as parliamentary party leader of the Congress and UPA parliamentary party.
The letter was also printed.
President was going to invite her, and her son said, this is a episode I have related in great detail. Her son said, Rahul, if you become Prime Minister, I will do something drastic to myself. And she decided not to take up PMship and she gave it to Manmohan Singh. Lekin Advani ji ka, when the nuclear thing happened, Vajpayee did not tell many people. The only person who was really privy to it were the scientists and Brajesh Mishra, the principal secretary of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and also the National Security Advisor. Jo bilkul unke, he was called the de facto Prime Minister. अटल जी बोलते थे जो भी कोई जाता था ब्रजेश से बात की क्या आपने. So he dealt with the nitty-gritty of everything. So he had informed only the service chiefs a few days in advance. And the politicals he informed only people. The defense minister of India did not know, George Fernandez, till a day earlier. So it's only a day or a little above a day, 2 days earlier, that these people were informed. And jab hua, to they were all gathered, these politicians in RCR, Racecourse Road, the Prime Minister's residence, and then the news came. And of course, there were tears and joy in that room. And then Vajpayee walked out and made this announcement. Soon after this, I was there, and soon after this, I went to North Block, जहाँ की Home Ministry का office है. मैंने सोचा कि Advani ji must be ecstatic because this has been the policy of the BJP for decades, ever since China detonated its bomb in 1964. So, and surprisingly, he agreed to see me. अकेले बैठे हुए थे with that Sardar Patel का portrait behind him. And he was very thoughtful. और जब मैं बात करती रही, repeatedly, tears would well up in his eyes. Advani ji is a very emotional man anyway. And he talked about, surprisingly, he talked about, all the days when they would, Vajpayee and he would be together. हार गए किसी इलेक्शन में तो गोल्ड मार्केट जाके चाट खाते थे या कोई फिल्म जाके देखते थे to drown their sorrows. And all the trajectory of their relationship. And then he talked about the attempt on his life in Coimbatore. किस तरह से मरते मरते वो बचे. And every time tears would. And I suddenly, when I walked out of North Block that day, I felt that he was very deeply hurt by not having been taken into confidence about a momentous decision like that. They were colleagues and rivals, of course. And somewhere he had felt, वो तो बोलते ही थे, और ब्रजेश मिश्रा भी ये कहते थे, somewhere he felt that Brajesh Mishra had taken the place of number 2 in his place. And that deeply hurt him. And that started a distancing between Vajpayee, a further distancing between Vajpayee and Advani, which became later 2002 May, he was made Deputy Prime Minister under the pressure of the RSS. And somewhere, Vajpayee then somewhere gave up. पहले जो fight थी वो 2002 में नरेंद्र मोदी के साथ भी जो हुआ, Vajpayee said Raj Dharma निभाना है and all that, and it didn't happen. So Vajpayee retreated after that, and of course he also agreed to have early elections under pressure from Advani and other leaders. So it became a very different...
Which again, ma'am, I think, that was a decision that changed the course of the country, perhaps. 6 months later, who knows?
That's
the
what
BJP
people
would have
say,
come back,
suppose.
India shining.
And it was only a difference of 8 seats.
Can you imagine?
That's right.
And of course, Sonia Gandhi's decision worked out well for her, longest serving president of the Congress. But I have to open up the session now to the audience, as I'm being told. Before that, just a rapid fire round, ma'am, about the Prime Minister. Nirja ji, most misunderstood Prime Minister.
I was asked this once before. I think the most misunderstood Prime Minister by the opposition is Narendra Modi.
Okay. The most shatir.
Shatir was Narasimha Rao.
Okay.
They used to say about Arjun Singh also. Very shatir because he belongs to this state. वो कहते थे हम लोगों को कि अगर आप इधर से कील घुसाएंगे तो वहाँ से स्क्रू निकलेगा. So
the most
Narasimha Rao was also
conflicted.
like that.
The most conflicted.
Conflict was Rajiv Gandhi, because he came as the hope of India at age of 40, Prime Minister, wanting to take India into the next century, technology mission, very futuristic, solving the problems, Punjab, Assam, Mizoram, sab accords kar diye, and then got caught in this caste versus religion dichotomy.
Most superstitious. They all were superstitious, which is also something you'll read in the book.
Superstitious I will, because I started with this. I'll, if you give me 2 minutes, I know you are. Narasimha Rao bhi bahut, all prime ministers were superstitious. But I'll tell you on Indira Gandhi and Narasimha Rao. Narasimha Rao ke ek guru the, even as he was prime minister, he was a former police officer, जो विशाखापट्टनम में उन्होंने आश्रम किया था. नरसिम्हा राव वहाँ जाते थे, साल में दो बार 3 बार चले जाते थे, और he would talk to him about Hindu thought and philosophy and all. एक दिन उन्होंने पूछा मूर्ति से, बाबरी मस्जिद के बारे में क्या देख रहे हैं? तो गुरुजी shut his eyes, opened them and said, I don't see it there. And people said that this affected, those who knew Narasimha Rao say that this affected Rao quite deeply. बाद में बाबरी मस्जिद गिरी, वो अलग कहानी है, कैसे गिरी, गिरने दिया, all that is a separate story. On Indira Gandhi, it's the story I started off with. 1999 में मैंने ये कहानी सुनी जिसका मैंने जिक्र किया था. When Indira Gandhi came back to power in 1980, and she came back to power with the help of her son Sanjay Gandhi, who had been an extra constitutional authority during the emergency, but he was responsible for strategizing for her return to power in 1980. तो पावर में आती हैं और 353 सीट्स हैं, रिकॉर्ड है. तो ये अनिल बाली बोलते हैं, मैम आपको चामुंडा जाना चाहिए. चामुंडा एक मंदिर है हिमाचल प्रदेश में, पालमपुर में, जहाँ जिसको वो बहुत मानती थी देवी को. तो हर महीने वो पैसा भेजती थी और प्रसाद आता था उनके लिए. तो उन्होंने कहा हाँ मैं जाऊँगी. तो बट 3-4 महीने बाद तो फिर उन्होंने मैसेज भेजा अनिल बाली को कि आप बनाइए और मैं आऊँगी. 22 जून 1980 को मैं आऊँगी जम्मू से वापसी पे. तो सब तैयारी हो गई. चीफ मिनिस्टर एंटोराज वाज ऑल देयर, एंड देन वर्ड कम्स दैट शी इज़ नॉट कमिंग. और जो वहाँ पुजारी था, मेन पुजारी, वो बहुत ही नाराज़ हुआ. उसने कहा कि इफ़ ऑर्डिनरी पीपल डोंट कम, माँ forgives them. But if a ruler doesn't come, Ma will not forgive. And you wait, she will come here crying. तो उन्होंने he pacified the पुजारी and पूजा वूजा करके ये लोग सब वापस जा रहे थे. तो रास्ते में 23 जून की मॉर्निंग में they heard that Sanjay Gandhi's plane had crashed. So Sanjay Gandhi had acquired a new plane and he was known for doing very dangerous acrobatics. And so then they rushed back to Delhi. रात के 2:30 बजे पहुँचे. Indira ji was sitting next to the body. And she got up immediately and came to this group. Mohan Meakin family का जो group था, and Anil Bali was part of them. And she said, has this happened because I did not go to Chamunda? Now they pacified her and she went to Chamunda in December of that year. और वही पुजारी जो इतना नाराज़ हुआ था, his hands were shaking. Because she did every mudra to perfection. And then she went out and she planted trees. Trees were one of the 5-point programs of Sanjay Gandhi. और वो रोई और रोई और रोई. And that evening she came back to Delhi और एक National Herald की meeting थी जो paper था. वहाँ she called Rajiv Gandhi on the stage and introduced him to the public.
Wonderful. And it's after...
So superstition each prime minister has been
And
very
it's after
superstitious.
Neerja ji heard this
And
story
you
that
know
she
that
decided-
shows the vulnerability
Absolutely.
of the prime minister. इतने powerful है. Indira Gandhi, who created Bangladesh. Indira
called
Gandhi,
the
who
Durga.
faced the Seventh Fleet of the United States of America in the Bay of Bengal. That Indira Gandhi was so vulnerable in Chamunda.
And it's after ma'am heard this story that she decided she would write
I
this
would
book
like-
one day. Any questions? Do we have time for questions?
I'm sure we have plenty
Yes,
of questions. Yes.
The young person in front. Yes.
नमस्कार मैम मेरा एक बहुत छोटा सा प्रश्न है कि आफ्टर 1971 वॉर वाजपेयी जी गिव द टाइटल टू इंदिरा गांधी देवी दुर्गा इज इट ट्रू और क्योंकि उनके ही लोग इस बात को मानने से इनकार करते हैं वाजपेयी जी के लोग कि नहीं नहीं ऐसा नहीं कहा था
आजकल
लेकिन
बहुत कुछ
आई
इनकार
हैव
होता है,
रेड इट
मैम।
इन न्यूज़पेपर्स आल्सो
वाजपेयी जी ने उसका डिनाई किया था कि उन्होंने कहा ऐसा कहा नहीं. मुझे भुवनेश चतुर्वेदी जो कांग्रेस के थे, कोटा के थे और वाजपेयी जी के बहुत अच्छे दोस्त थे, उन्होंने मुझे कहा था कि मैं उस मीटिंग में था जब वाजपेयी जी ने कहा था दुर्गा, क्योंकि पार्टी से प्रेशर आया था बहुत. ये क्या कह रहे हैं आप, इतना चढ़ा रहे हैं आप इंदिरा गांधी को. तो ही हैड डिनाइड इट बट several other people also felt he had said it and then went back.
At the back there was a question there. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you have written about the prime ministers, about the good points of the prime minister. But I want to ask you that who is responsible for crime, corruption, the thriving black money, attack on Kargil?
I think that will be a
then
whole other book, sir.
China attacked India. Who's responsible for all these things?
I think, this is a very good question. While I have tried to see the prime ministers in a holistic way, the good and the bad, it is also true that their decisions, and that applies to every single prime minister, no exceptions.
And I think we the people are also somewhere responsible.
That of course, but their decision making represented the ugly underbelly of India. That is a fact. And much of their decisions were driven by the need to get power, immediate power, win election, साम दाम दंड भेद किसी तरह करना है. And Indira Gandhi, more than, she's the one who started this process, I would say very honestly. She was a mentor. बाकी लोगों ने फिर उनको follow भी किया. They used to, विश्वनाथ प्रताप सिंह कहते थे, she is my mentor. And people said to me in BJP, आप सोचते हो कि बीजेपी नेताओं के गुरु इज गोलवलकर और दीनदयाल उपाध्याय. No, they studied Indira Gandhi very well on how to remain in power. So this is absolutely true. There is the wise side of our prime ministers, human side of our prime ministers, lonely side of our prime ministers, where the buck stopped with them, and that's an awesome feeling. But there is also the ugly side of our prime minister's decision making. That is a fact.
Sir, there was a yes.
Yes, we
go
have-
ahead.
There's a gentleman with
Yeah.
the हाँ जी पूछिए सर.
नीरजा जी को बधाई. आपने प्राइम मिनिस्टर के बारे में किताब लिखकर हम सब लोगों को एक शैडो के रूप में हम प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफिस में पहुंच रहे हैं. और मेरा प्रश्न ये है कि आपने इतनी सुंदर किताब लिखी है, इसमें वर्तमान प्रधानमंत्री जी का भी 30-40 पेज लिखें तो बहुत सुंदर होगा.
Bilkul, sir. One more question. Let's take one more. That elderly gen. Yes, sir.
So why
If you
not
could just-
Modi is the question.
And he said you take us right to the inside the Prime Minister's office.
Ms. Nirja Chaudhary, you mentioned of Indira Gandhi creating the new nation of Bangladesh. Here I would like to differ, and I speak with certain amount of authority on this subject. Indira Gandhi, in her own letter, and the Defense Forces headquarters in their own letters and operational plans, did not want to liberate the whole of Bangladesh. Their plans were limited to just taking enough area from East Pakistan so that the refugees would return. Indira Gandhi, in her own letter to General Lakshman Singh Lehel, mentioned this, that it was not her plan to create the whole of Bangladesh, neither to
All
capture
right.
Bangladesh.
All right. So this you can discuss with ma'am later. But yes, a book
Yeah,
on
quick.
Prime Minister Modi.
Much awaited.
You know,
Yes.
I was working on Modi. Hello. Yeah, yeah. I was working on it, and then I felt कि हल्का होगा. मेरे पास जितना information है, it is not adequate. It does not match the information I have for the other prime ministers. And part of the reason was that I'd got the information about other prime ministers after they demitted office. And it's very difficult when you have an incumbent prime minister for those around them to talk freely. It's very difficult. So, yes, I do hope to do another book. I do hope, that one can throw light on this prime minister's functioning and term, because he's brought about, you can agree with him, you can disagree with him. He's brought about a paradigm shift in Indian politics. And Hindu Rashtra, moving, it's a civilizational project, 1,000-year civilizational project that they have embarked on. And he's also taken big decisions, what he calls bhavya. Bhavya is a word he uses for his decision making. But often, the details have been lacking. Why is that? जैसे डिमोनेटाइजेशन हुआ कि एक अनाउंसमेंट से आप ब्लैक मनी को ख़त्म कर देंगे, लेकिन उसके बाद 250 नए आपने गाइडलाइंस दिए विद इन 2 months. So it's a very interesting process, it's a very interesting phenomenon, the Modi phenomenon. And I feel, Modi phenomenon has not been understood because Modi phenomenon is a response to a changing India at the ground. And that changing India, we need to understand more. And I think the opposition naturally reacts कि आपकी agencies को misuse किया जा रहा है, अब media is under pressure, judiciary is under pressure, all that's there. But what are these changes that are happening at the ground which throw up on Modi and bring him to power for the 3rd term? This is what we need to understand much more.
So hopefully that will be a subsequent book. Yes, one question there.
Ma'am, thank you so much for such a great book, and hope to looking forward to for more such books. My question is that in the current times, what are those factors which are distancing the opposition and the ruling party from coming onto a single point for what's best for their nation?
We were missing an Arun Jaitley, but yes.
Yes, we are missing an Arun Jaitley or a Sushma Swaraj or others. आज वो he talked about Vajpayee, the consensus creator. वाजपेयी का मैं कई बार बोलती हूँ, अगर आप बोलिए वाजपेयी की achievement क्या थी decision में, and you look at the decisions, there are no decisions you can, nuclear decision yes, but he didn't consider that as his main achievement. Vajpayee is not what he did, Vajpayee is what he was. A consensus builder, a middle of the roader, a moderate in a right-wing party. उसी तरह आज consensus creators ही नहीं है हमारे देश में. How this is going to happen, I don't know. मैं तो आपको कहने वाली थी कि आपके मुंह में घी शक्कर. ऐसे अगर लोग हमारे, because you need them today.
So do you see somebody in a political scenario, in this limelight?
Of course, this country is so resilient. It will throw up new people, it will throw up new situations. I am an incorrigible optimist.
All right, let's get more questions quickly with that lady over there. Yes, young lady.
सभी को नमस्ते. Thank you so much for this book, ma'am. हम अपने ही प्राइम मिनिस्टर से अपने आप को पहली बार नज़दीक पा रहे हैं with your book. So my question, ma'am, were there any decisions where the prime minister personal beliefs and values played any significant role?
Where values have played a political role.
The personal beliefs,
In the
personal
decisions
values
that they
played
made.
a significant role in any of the decisions.
Look, values do make a difference. When Rajiv Gandhi says, I want, technology missions, I want future to be secure, water, communication revolution, these are ideas of the future at that time. So also today we face a huge challenge. AI, artificial intelligence, is going to change our lives, not in 10 years later, but this year. और हम लोग prepared ही नहीं हैं इन चीज़ों के लिए. So it's not that they are making efforts. It's not that values are not there. but there is a certain amorality in politics. Immorality भी नहीं कहूँगी मैं. Immorality में तो right and wrong के बीच में आपको difference पता है. Amoral is कुछ भी चलेगा ना, power के लिए कुछ भी चलेगा. So yes, that has overtaken the dreams of yesteryears, freedom, उसके बाद freedom के building a new nation, and then somewhere we got lost on the way and power became an aim, an end in itself. बदलेगा ये भी.
Neerja ji, I had a question. You said that this century, and rightly so, it belongs to women. So when do we have the next woman prime minister? After Indira Gandhi, we've not had one. So do you see that happening?
Will it be from
I
the same
again will
family?
say आपके मुंह में घी शक्कर. होगा. You know, when I go at election time covering, and I meet young women, and I get so excited I can't tell you. Because you know उनकी आंखों में जो चमक है, वो जो करना चाह रही हैं, they are not saying हम सिलाई कढ़ाई करने वाले हैं. I'm interested. इन्होंने मुझे बोला कि they want, a lot of them want to become IAS. I find in many parts of the country 10 में से 8 लड़कियां कहेंगी मैं पुलिस ऑफिसर बनना चाहती हूँ. Why? It is autonomy, it is freedom, it is authority, it is power. You know, they will come into their own. And there is a certain, I believe, a caring and humanness. So even as AI comes in, artificial intelligence, अगर आप उसको download करते हो ना, it's very cold and clinical. अब ऐसे को download, I've been trying to do it. There's no warmth in those things. So there'll be a need for humanness and warmth and caring
But
and
absolutely,
sensitivity.
ma'am, what you say about critical thinking, looking forward, India, you know, developing, we're not going to achieve all this digging under temples, but yes, go ahead, sir.
This will be the last question for this session. Can we pass the mic to the gentleman? One quick question, please.
हेलो मैडम, पहले तो मैं बीएलएफ को बहुत ही आभार मानता हूं उनका कि आप जैसी पर्सनालिटी को सुनने का मौका मिल रहा है. हम लोग बहुत आप लोगों को सुनने के बाद, कल हमने एमजे अकबर को सुना, आज आपको सुन रहे थे, तो आप लोगों को सुनने के बाद हमें लगता है कि हम लोग बहुत मिसकंसेप्शंस में बात करते हैं. जब आपस में बात करते हैं बहुत क्लैरिटी नहीं होती बहुत चीज़ों की. जो आप लोगों के पास इंफॉर्मेशन रहती है वो हम लोगों के पास इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं रहती. इसलिए आप जैसे पर्सनालिटी को अगर सुनने को कहा जाए तो मैं पूरा दिन सुनता रहूं, आप बोलती रहिए, मैं सुनता रहूं. मुझे ये लगता है.
आप किताब भी पढ़िएगा. हाँ.
Sir, do you have a question, sir?
Yes, go ahead with the question.
Because we've
क्वेश्चन मेरा ये है कि आपको मैंने सुना और आपने कहा कि जब चाइना जैसा देश कोई पॉलिसी बनाता है, इकोनॉमिक रिफॉर्म्स करता है, तो वो 50 इयर्स के लिए प्लान करता है और हम जो है वो एडहॉक डिसीजंस लेते हैं. जो हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर्स जो हैं वो एडहॉक डिसीजंस लेते हैं. यहाँ स्टेटमेंट में पैराडॉक्स है. और जब मैडम गोविल जो है उन्होंने जब बात की तो उन्होंने कहा कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर जो है हर बात को बहुत ध्यान से सुनते हैं और उसके बाद कोई पॉलिसी जो है वो फ्रेम होती है. अब मैं समझ नहीं पा रहा हूँ कि इसके मतलब इन दोनों स्टेटमेंट्स में क्या डिसीजन.
बुक के एंड पढ़ेंगे वहाँ पर आप यू ड्वेल्ट ऑन दिस कि
नहीं, ये तो मैं मैडम से
बहुत सारे डिसीजन
मैडम से सुनना चाहूँगा क्योंकि आप मुझे मिलेंगी नहीं फिर.
नहीं, आपको बिल्कुल मिलेंगे बाहर. जब सेशन के बाहर आप ऑथर से इंटरैक्ट कर सकते हैं.
Quick word, last word from Neerja ji on this.
On this one?
Yes, do
On
they
the
think
sec-
long term? Is it out of desperation, power hungry?
I think ये लोग बैठे हैं ना सामने गार्गी स्कूल से 9th और 10th क्लास की छात्राएं. They will ensure our long term is going to be different.
Well, thank you so much, Neerja ji. And really, those of you who haven't read the book, you absolutely must. And we'll be waiting with bated breath for your next book. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We thank our panelists for this very engaging session, and we now request Mr. Raghav Chandra and Mr. Abhilash Khandekar to give a token of appreciation, the BLF Memento 2025, to our eminent panelists. And can we have a round of applause for this engaging session where you got to see the powerful yet the vulnerable side of our Prime Ministers.
Yes, Gargi.
The BLF memento, which is an artwork by Padma Shri Bhuri Baiji.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Brilliant session, and this idea of community is so good, so powerful. You could relate to the audience so well. Fantastic. Fantastic. Want any help? That has all your notes, otherwise we would have stolen it from you. Is that not?
Pallavi ji. Ladies and gentlemen, we request you to settle down for our next session.